Chris Evans is back to play Captain America in Avengers Doomsday, but those who want it to be woke say, no way, we won't accept that. We want Anthony Mackie back again. Today we'll tell you why the MCU is in uncharted territory trying to unwokeify itself, and how internet rage is on the way for Kevin Feige. Hello and welcome back. It's a spicy one, ladies and gentlemen. It's no meatball. It might be a ghost pepper. It's Ghost Town, USA when it comes to the woke mind virus and the entertainment we love. They are moving it out, getting it away from the corporations who don't want to be associated with it anymore. That includes Marvel, the MCU. Hey, Cap, you're back. It's what's another Civil War? It's RDJ versus Chris Evans all over again. We'll talk about it. Like, share, subscribe. Let's dive in right now. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. MCU Film News has this one. Chris Evans is back. Back again. Chris Evans is back as Steve Rogers in Avengers Doomsday. Not as Captain America. Are you ready for this, folks? Sam Wilson is now Captain America, and this has been officially established. Steve will likely have a role similar to his Infinity War appearance, but he's not taking up the shield. Yes, what Steve did at the end of Endgame wasn't supposed to happen, which is why Dr. Doom is after him in the film. So let's calm down. Everybody, let's just calm down before jumping on the hate train about Steve replacing Sam in the MCU. You hear that, folks? If you dare say, and they used the old man picture of Chris Evans, if you dare say that Steve Rogers is back as Captain America, they're calling it the hate train. They're calling it the hate train. Look at this. Bro, can you just let the blanking guy retire from his role in peace? And then, of course, you get the backlash, right? The Falcon isn't Captain America. You can hand him the shield and call him that, but he isn't the Captain America. I love it. I just love it. They're losing their minds. The MCU Film News, losing their minds. And I can pull up others of these, but they're furious. They're angry. They're mad that suddenly the MCU is gone. All the role swaps and the race swaps and the gender swaps and all those kind of swaps. Not so hot. Kevin Feige now going back to, guys, what I believe to be Civil War II. It's Chris Evans versus RDJ all over again. Lauren, you're laughing about it. It is. It's Civil War II. They just went back to the Ike Perlmutter era and said, what worked? We need it now. Please come watch our movie. We're begging you.
Well, I think this is a bit of a bait and switch. We actually saw in our background today Hangry posing a theory that I think might actually be right and would jive with what this tweet says. So I don't know.
Walk us through it, Lou. Tell us about it.
Lou?
Lauren, sorry.
His theory is that this is an alternate Steve Rogers, which is why in the leaked trailer that you see him holding a baby, and that we see that that baby doesn't survive. And he comes, that somehow the baby doesn't survive because Thanos was defeated. And so the alternate Steve Rogers comes looking for revenge and thus becomes Captain Hydra and joins forces with Dr. Doom. That's the theory he was giving. So if that is true, then that tweet is actually correct, and he's not coming back as Captain America.
Okay, maybe, but let me throw some evidence the other way. Okay, I'll play devil's advocate or angel's advocate, whichever you want to think that I'm doing. Geeks and Gamers. Today, Alex Gurzo. Today, Disney Parks replaces Sam Wilson, Captain America, with Steve Rogers. Just happened, just announced. Guys, listen, I'm not trying to douse water on the theory that Hangry's put out there. Hydra, maybe. But Disney Parks is saying, you know what? We got to go back to Steve. What do you guys think? What do you say about this? Is this the Ariel situation times 100 now? Has Disney put themselves in they've self-made this corner they're stuck in, where it's like, which one of the Captain Americas you're going to like? Huh? And then we'll rage about it, right? That's the way this is going to play out. This is where the legacy going extinct dinosaur media that needs to rage bait the clickbaits, that's what they're going to say about it. You know it. I know it. Here we go again.
So the question I want to know is this a rewrite to bring him in? Or is this a reaction to the fact that they know that they can't have Pedro be the face of the Avengers?
Partly the second, yes. Because I think they wanted Chris Pratt. They got Chris Evans. but they got to get Pedro out of there because the Fantastic Four just landed on Disney Plus, and it was the worst Marvel streaming debut ever. That guy cannot be in charge of what I believe to be a trilogy of movies that needs to make $3 billion. Pedro Pascal cannot fail that hard for you and probably lose at Star Wars 2. That can't happen in the same year. So they had to fix it. So we get Civil War 2.
I actually don't think we are going to get Hydra Captain America because I don't think they can afford to take that risk. I think that is a massive risk. I think they'd rather just have two Captain Americas from two whatever timelines or dimensions. It's better to have these two on screen working together than it would be to have Hydra Cap to almost take points away from Doom. Doom is good enough on his own. We don't need really anybody else. He doesn't need anything else. And plus, Claudia has never liked Hydra Captain America, whether he was in a comic book or
look at this guy. Look at this guy's shirt real quick, Wiz. Look at this guy.
There it is.
But he came in here ready to go, man. Came in here ready.
Proves my point. No one wants Hydra Cap, and I don't think regular audiences are going to want that either. Regular audiences want Steve Rogers back in the hot seat as Captain America. They're not even going to care about the title that Sam Wilson has. Nobody's going to care about that at all. They can both have their own shields. No one cares. We'd rather see them fighting side by side again than at each other. It's going to be a big team up.
When was the last time Disney cared about what the audience wanted?
This movie. I fully believe this movie is throw all the money that we possibly have at this because I think they know they're on DEFCON 5.
Let me rephrase what Lauren just said. When was the last time Disney accurately judged what the audience wanted?
Well, no, that's a better yes.
And
that's a good
even
question.
given throwing all the money at the wall, do you think this movie's going to make money?
That's a harder question.
I think it's more about saving for the future, for the reset, because this is going to reset at the end, and it's going to be all new, all different, probably.
They would have been smarter to reset instead of making this movie.
What if they gave a reset and nobody came because we were all bored to death long before it happened?
I don't know that they know what to do, but they've probably learned what not to do at this point. So if they can just not do what they shouldn't do, which is make a Hydra Cap, they might be able to it's almost like Superman. Superman didn't have to be a great movie. It just had to get people not offended enough and interested enough to bring them to go see what's coming up next. Everything that they've created since Endgame has been pretty much destroying any interest in seeing anything else. If they can just capture a little bit of it, they can get people interested enough that they might want to come back and see it, see what else happens.
Andy, what happens if we get a scene of white Captain America versus black Captain America?
I wasn't even going to bring it up, but I was sure thinking it.
It's just so funny that Disney's done this to themselves. And now you got places like the Marvelous Geek coming out and taking a stand. Sam Wilson is Captain America. Like this, it's going to be all out. It's going to be all out from people who don't care other than the tribalism aspect of it.
Can I make a point?
As for Superman, if I could just jump in for a second. We have gone from you'll believe a man can fly to you'll believe a dog can pee on a newspaper.
Yeah, that's what they've done to the superhero genre, yes.
So,
here's a good idea in the chat from 40's Mandalorian. Cap never went back in time to live with Peggy. He was trapped in the Soul Stone by Red Skull while returning it.
There you go. And another twist to Rooster there.
That's a risk I don't think Disney's willing to take.
I think, okay, so we saw Thunderbolts, and we saw the John Walker character in there, and who becomes U.S. agent. What do we refer to him as? He's U.S. agent now because he used to be Captain America.
I thought it was Punchline. I thought he was Captain Punchline.
But we'll refer to him. Yeah, we'll refer to him as U.S. agent. Like in the comic books, Bucky became Captain America briefly, and but we refer to him as Bucky. And Sam Wilson became Captain America, but don't you refer to him as Sam Wilson or Falcon. Like, we can refer to everybody else. Once he's been established as Captain America, don't you dare say that he's not Captain America. Despite the fact that every time they do this stuff in the comic book, with maybe the exception of Barry Allen and Wally West in DC, that's probably the only successful iteration they had of a long-standing flip to a character where it was replaced by somebody else. But everybody else that's ever been Captain America is always recognized as Steve Rogers as Captain America. And the fact that Steve Rogers is Captain America, it's not that anybody can be Captain America. It's because the qualities that he has is sort of unique. He's that Boy Scout. He is that guy who's does the right thing. That's why the ending of Endgame is so stupid. He would never abandon his post. He's that guy that always stays on the line. And that's unique to him. That's what makes him incorruptible. That's what made him able to lift Thor's hammer. That's what made him this iconic character. And when you just switch it out, that means that those qualities really mean nothing. And somebody else, like some kind of imitation of it, is fine. And as they've established in this, the super soldier serum amplifies good qualities and amplifies bad qualities. So if he's sort of unique with that, and Sam never gets super soldier serum, is that a suggestion that he would have been better? But either way, the writing that they did, they established Steve Rogers as a likable character. Now, I've been a Captain America fan since 1976, so longer than a lot of people watching me have been alive. And Chris Evans did a serviceable job, but he wasn't really the iconic Captain America, who would have been more stoic, little more authoritative. But the writers did such a good job in humanizing him, portraying his great qualities, really cultivating that fan affection for him, which they did with Sam Wilson as Falcon, but they never established him as Captain America. You put him in this horribly written Falcon and Winter Soldier, which nobody saw, and the people that did see it were offended by it. Here's this guy who's supposed to be Captain America telling you not to call the terrorist a terrorist, and she just blew up a bunch of innocent people. It's the writing ruined it. They didn't do anything to establish the character, to make him heroic, to make him rising to that challenge to be, something other than because, and let's face it, he was filling a spot because the world needs a Captain America. Like, why? It's like, you went for 70 years without a Captain America. So their writing and the people telling the writers what to write is the biggest problem. They don't understand the hero, and they don't understand what people see in heroes, which is evident because they keep glamorizing the villains.
The next thing that's going to happen too, guys, and Andy, that is a PhD level dissertation as to how they've messed up with this character and how they got things right too. You're very fair, very balanced in that. But the next thing that's going to happen, as you remember how they showed us like 100 chairs, and we're supposed to be all impressed about that. As those characters get pushed out so they can give screen time to RDJ and Chris Evans, which is going to happen, there are going to be very angry folks on the internet who don't care anything about these characters, but just care about power. And the hour is going to be theirs to come out there and say, well, Disney is placating to the people who are filled with hatred because they put two white guys on the screen way more than anybody else. That's not right. I know who my Captain America is. I want my She-Hulk back. Same people who never watched a single episode of She-Hulk because nobody did.
I want my She-Hulk back, said no rational human being ever.
That's exactly right. But this is the fight coming up because Marvel was turned into a partisan property, and now they're going to have to reset that to save it. And the people who wanted it to be that, the people who wanted Marvel to be a propagandistic item, they're going to be fighting Disney, saying all the way, nuh-uh, don't give it back to them. Don't turn it back into just a superhero franchise. That's not what it's supposed to be out anymore. Wiz, any mistakes there? What do you think? Is that Is that how this plays out, or is there a way for Disney to thread the needle?
Man, what a mess. That's the best way to describe it, is what a mess. I think Andy summarized all this like perfectly. The analysis of Falcon and the Winter Soldier was sound, only for everything to follow up with this Brave New World film, which no one saw. And the people that did see it, half of the audience liked it and half of the audience didn't. And it was probably even worse than that, where more people didn't like it than did. This is a course correction. They can't afford Disney cannot afford to take any risks with Steve Rogers or the Chris Evans actor involved. They can't afford it anymore. Even the Human Torch angle with Deadpool and Wolverine is beginning to age poorly, even though that was just a gag and a joke. Especially with how the Fantastic Four film played out in box offices recently this summer. We're going to have to wait and see, but they don't have the ability to take any more risks. They've worked themselves into a corner with Avengers Doomsday.
I think that Fantastic Four was an example of them getting too cautious. They didn't take any risks. It was so bland and so generic. There was nothing exciting about it. And if they keep going with that direction, I can understand why the reports of RDJ getting so upset about the script and things, because there's probably somebody saying like, "Oh, don't say that. Like that could get us into trouble. That could offend this group or that group." And they're skirting a line. They're so afraid to offend anybody. They're just going to annoy everyone.
Mission accomplished, I'd say. You know, we really hope that you felt this video was satisfactual. We know we had an actual good time participating and communicating with each and every one of you out there listening. It is a great honor. It is a great pleasure, even a responsibility to do this on a daily basis. You give us the dream job we love doing, and for that we can never say thank you enough. There's only one small favor we ask beyond what has already been done, and that is, folks, consider it. That is clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those pesky algorithms. It's the notification bell, and drop a comment right on down below. Let us know your thoughts, because your thoughts do indeed matter, no matter what the mainstream media would otherwise say. Folks, as we say every single time we end these videos, because we mean it, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.